Where am I? Hey, there I am. I came to life eventually. It's the most anyone can expect from a young, virile boy as myself. But hello. This is going to be a bit of a different stream. Because I need to talk about a subject that is 8 years in the making. I've not really planned out what I'm going to be saying about this. This is broadly just off the dome, so it will be very rambly, very undirected. I might even end up contradicting myself, and how out of character that would be. In fact, you know what? I'm going to add in a little text thingy here. What MP4? Metroid Prime Oim. Fuck it. Let's drink you actually. Okay, so there's that notice up there. And now I can't be sued by man, God, or Nintendo. I've got my ass covered on all fronts. So recently, I played a game called Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. First note, I don't like the title. Yes, we're really starting out with something this small and nitpicky. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Something about that, the word beyond, it doesn't suit as a like a one-word subtitle. I don't know what it is. If you've ever watched my streams with any amount of closeness, you'll know I get very anal about titles. I like a title that flows nicely. That feels syrupy on the ears, and Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, it's just like a walking into a brick wall. I don't like that title. I don't know what else they could have called it, admittedly. I would have been happy with just Metroid Prime 4 and don't bother with the subtitle, but what else could they have called it? No idea. Anyway. But yes, I played a game called Metroid Prime 4. It's been in development for, I think, 8 years. It got restarted, I want to say in 2019, 2020, maybe even 21, I don't fully remember. It was being developed by, again, I don't remember. I want to say Koei Tecmo. But eventually they, when it got restarted, they changed it over to Retro, who were the original developers of the Prime series. And this was a good sign, a very good sign, because I'll reveal my bias now. Metroid Prime, the original Metroid Prime, is my favourite game of all time. Bar none. I love everything about it. It's just a work of absolute genius from beginning to end. I could, and have, gushed for hours about my unconditional adoration of Metroid Prime. And so, obviously, whatever standards, whatever I end up revealing my thoughts on Metroid Prime 4 are, it could never live up to those standards. I fully admit those standards are not fair, right? The odds of the fourth entry in a series shooting to the top of, beating the original and thus becoming my favourite game of all time was never high, right? It was never very likely, so, but I didn't need it to be the best game of all time. I just needed it to be a worthy successor, a sign of life in a franchise that Nintendo, it's not their most neglected franchise, far from it. That'd be either Star Fox or F-Zero. I wanted it as a sign of life from a broadly neglected franchise. However, in 2021, they invented a game called Metroid Dread. And Metroid Dread actually is a masterpiece. It's incredible. Like, they hit every note they needed to hit, and then some. It was just a spectacular game. And so whatever reservations I end up having about Prime 4, they are softened for the fact that Dread exists and is fantastic. But I suppose I should start actually talking about Prime 4, shouldn't I? I'll try and go in a broadly linear order, which I admit is ironic considering I'm talking about Metroid, but we'll give it a go nevertheless. This game oh yeah, I bought a Switch 2 to play this game. Was that a good investment? Almost certainly not, but I am getting Donkey Kong for Christmas, so, I mean, I'll take it, you know? I always end up buying the new Nintendo console for Metroid. It's happened numerous times. I bought a Wii for Metroid Prime 3. That's how long ago that one was. I bought a Switch 1 for Dread. And now I've bought a Switch 2 for Prime 4. I considered getting a 3DS for Samus Returns. I ended up not doing that. I did, however, play it. I will say no more than that. How did I play it? Well, you'll have to figure that one out yourself, chat. Now, the one of the things I was very excited for with this game, actually, when they revealed it, when they revealed that the Switch 2 would have mouse controls. At first, I didn't get that. I didn't understand, like, what are you doing? This is like a handheld games console. What good is mouse mode going to be? What's actually going to use that? I don't get this. It just felt like something to put on the box. And then they announced Metroid Prime 4 will have mouse controls, and I could not have been sold harder on something. That instantly won me over in a way I am not usually instantly won over conceptually. And my first note is that, and this is more of a Switch problem than a Metroid problem, the mouse controls are bad. Mouse mode on Switch 2 feels bad. Ergonomically, it's a disaster because, like, it's a thin, angular device, the Joy-Con. And most mice are kind of flat and broad. You can neatly lay your palm on them. Not so with the Switch 2 Joy-Con. It will certainly dig into your palm. It feels bad. And that and the fact that all it does is replace the functionality of one of the thumbsticks. It does not adjust the controls in any other way. So you're still going to be like awkwardly reaching for the face buttons with your thumb, and the bumpers. they feel a little spongy for a mouse. They're fine as a controller, but as a mouse it doesn't work. And the sensor is bad. It feels unresponsive or over-responsive sometimes, and the axes are bad. It's not a good device for a mouse. And so, unfortunately, mouse controls in Prime 4 are a bust. They're not good. I didn't like them. I switched to a regular controller before too long. I think before my first session with the game was done, I had switched back to mouse controls. Back to regular controller controls. But my first... I feel like I could talk about, like, my expectations going in. Because I had, theories and hopes and dreams and whatnot, but ultimately they're unimportant. I feel like I've contextualized my Metroid fandom well enough, although I will actually add one more thing to that. I will say that my first ever Metroid game was Metroid Prime Hunters, the DS spin-off, in which Sylux debuts, who of course goes on to be the main antagonist. In this game we will get onto him. And that got me very excited, because he was a lingering plot thread for ages now, and it does make me wonder, actually, what was the order of events with that character? Was he... because Prime Hunters was developed by a different studio. I think that was in-house at Nintendo. And so was it the case that the in-house studio at Nintendo invented that character, and then Retro looked at him and said, he's really cool, we're going to use him in the post-credits 100% ending of Prime 3? Or was it that Retro came up with this character, thought, we're going to do something with him one day, and then asked that in-house Nintendo studio, could you seed him in this game? I'm very interested to know what exactly the order of events was there. Because I guarantee their intentions with the character certainly changed over the course of 19 years. But anyway, yeah, I feel like I've contextualized my undying love of this series well enough, so now we can actually talk about the damn game. So my first note about this game, I say note, I as I mentioned earlier, I've got nothing written down. My first note about this game is that the Prime games tend to start, and I suppose, you know, this game is under no obligation to be like the other ones, but nevertheless, they are the immediate and obvious point of comparison. And, you know, Metroid Prime games tend to start very quietly. The first one, you know, you pull up on this space station, you walk around it for a bit, the place is in ruins, and you're just kind of left to wonder, like, what happened here? How did it happen here? And eventually, you know, then it ramps up. Then you fight the Parasite Queen, and everything starts flashing and exploding, and you run out of the space station, and you find Ridley, and you go down to Talon 4. It's a very well-paced opening. And Prime 2 is a little more direct in that. Actually, I'm blanking a little bit on quite how Prime 2 opens. You land on the planet, you kind of crash land on the planet. Actually, here's the music from Prime 1 when you're running away from the station. You pull up on the planet and you explore for a bit. Again, you're thinking what's going on, and then you get kind of bombarded by these creatures, and Dark Samus shows up and you think, what's going on here? And that's kind of the ramp up. And Prime 3 again, which I'm not as keen on Prime 3. It's good, it's more Metroid Prime, but I only ever played it the once when I was 12. But I need to replay that one. I hope it gets remastered. Yeah, that one. Again, you're like walking around the Federation ship, and you're like using the controls and stuff like that, because that game was in love with motion controls. It was the style at the time. And then it ramps up. You know, then when they've established the threat and the goals and the whatnot and the characters, all that, then the pirates show up and it all becomes very fizz-bang wallop. It's a bit talky and long, that opening, but ultimately it really works. And Metroid Prime 4, here's my first note about it, it's instantly fizz-bang wallop. You know, you instantly receive a signal, you are instantly on the planet, you are instantly in the middle of a war zone. There is no build-up or atmosphere in the opening. And that bothered me a little bit. It's not an ineffective opening, you still learn all the Metroid Prime-y things, but it is very rushed. It feels like an ultra-condensed version of Prime 3's opening. But anyway, then you, you know, you make what is... Oh yeah, it establishes that the pirates have started using, like, Metroids to, like, infect and, like, mutate their forces. And to think, this is going to be a plot thread this game. Doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't... I think the first, like, 2 or 3 bosses in the game are, like, mutated by Metroids. And then they just forget all about that. They don't particularly care about that either way. But yeah, so you fight your way through this facility, and then... by the way, this game looks great, I will say. There's been some criticism that it's got kind of subpar graphics. I don't agree at all. I think this game looks gorgeous. Everything's shiny where it should be, and... other material conditions where it should be. It really is wonderful to look at. Not a great deal to say on that, except that I think the graphics are really good. But anyway, you fight your way through this facility, and then, oh no, here's Sylux, and there's a bit of a Barney, and then he knocks over a relic. This is where, like, the game begins proper. Knocks over a relic that transports Samus and others we will get onto later to the planet Vuros. Slightly difficult word to say, Vuros, but anyway. And here's where we get, yeah, as I say, the game starting proper. And it's not really explained at any point how this artifact got to this facility. It's implied that it might have been seeded by the aliens from the planet Vuros, but it's not really explored, and I guess it's not terribly important, but it would have been nice if that was, I don't know, explored a little more. So you find yourself on Vuros, and here's the good bit of Prime. Here's kind of, they did it in the reverse order. They did the shooty bang fizz wallop bit, and then they did the quiet walking bit. But we get the quiet walking bit, and you walk through. Firstly, you're in a desert, and then you walk through this facility belonging to these aliens whose name of the species I have forgotten. Yep, that's completely gone, but they look like axolotls. That's what they're clearly modelled after. The Luminoth in Rome 2, they were moths. The Chozo, they've always been birds. These lot, they're axolotls. A cool-looking species, actually. But here's the first thing I noticed about the architecture of this species. I have never seen more yonic designs in a video game. I really don't think. There's vaginas everywhere. Everywhere there are vaginas. There are vaginas on the walls. When you open the doors, you walk through vaginas. The art is vaginas. The platforms and the elevators, they are all vaginal. Everything in this game is so vaginal. It's kind of stunning, actually. But oh yes, and I should point out, when you get transported to Vuros, that's when we get the traditional Metroid Prime thing of, oh, by the way, all your gear has been broken. I think Samus gets her gear from a pretty dodgy supplier, because it's constantly breaking when she, like, gets thrown against walls. It's happened like 4 times now. But happens in Dread as well, as I recall. But anyway, so yeah, you explore this facility, and we learn the psychic powers are like the big thing in this game, and they're quite fun. A little cumbersome in the control department, but they're quite fun. And so the scan visor gets replaced with the psychic visor, which is basically exactly the same thing, except sometimes you can, like, drag out motes from things and shove them in other things, and that makes doors open. It's quite fun. I'm sure it's just like extra steps for opening doors most of the time, but I don't know, I thought it was quite fun. And at this point we learn that basically what the aim of the game was, and here, this wasn't really an issue I had until, like, the very end of the game. But we learn basically what the aim of the game is. Basically, this race has gone extinct. They've been extinct for many years, kind of a victim of their own hubris, and it's implied. They were doing, like, genetic enhancement experiments, and they went haywire, and now they've all gone feral, and they're extinct, basically. And we learned that they want a chosen one, and they actually use the term chosen one, which I didn't like. That's just a walking cliche. They could have done better than that. And we learn through hologram that they need the chosen one, Roan, to unlock the memory fruit, which is like a product of this great tree in somewhere called Fury Green, and they need Chosen One to plant this tree on another planet so that people will remember their species. And I thought that was a really weak motivation. Oh, there's also some teleport. The main MacGuffin in this game are the teleporter keys that you need to find to get home. Again, we'll get to those. But I thought that was a really weak motivation. Now, consider the objectives in the other Prime games. In Prime 1, you have to defeat the Metroid Prime, this product of many centuries ago that did a number on this planet. You need to defeat the Metroid Prime before the pirates can kind of harness its energies and take over the galaxy. Clear objective. I know what Metroid Prime is about. Prime 2. You need to... oh my god, my voice went weird just there. You need to save the last remnants of this species from this interdimensional force that has kind of split their planet in half. Again, I get what I need to do in Prime 2. I need to save this species. In Prime 3, again, you need to stop this kind of cosmic horror entity from kind of parasite monster from spreading itself throughout the galaxy and destroying everything. I understand what Prime 3 is about. In Prime 4, you need to do an already dead race a solid by planting a tree. Okay, but why? I don't understand. Like, what is the consequence of failure here? The species is already extinct. The tree they have on their own planet seems to be doing pretty fine. You want me to just plant a tree? Why? That's an incredibly lame objective. But anyway, then what's the next kind of big thing that happens? You encounter yes, Miles McKenzie. Inexcusable. First of all, let's highlight that. Let's underline it. Let's make photocopies. Let's send a chain email to all our friends establishing clearly Miles McKenzie is inexcusable. If you know about this character, you know. If you don't, basically he's a Marvel dialogue character. He like fumbles around and goes, "Yeah, did that just happen? Whoa!" He's just awful on a conceptual level. Luckily, his bit is about half an hour long, and then he becomes a fairly incidental character, although he does keep contacting you on the radio, like pointing out really obvious things that you already figured out, which is patronizing. I didn't like that at all. But as I say, the brunt of his annoyance has come in the first half hour, and then you're largely done with him. The game has other AI companions, and I didn't really like them either. They weren't aggravating like Miles McKenzie is, but they were not good either. First of all, I'm sorry, I thought the voice acting was kind of bad. There's one companion in particular, it's a Japanese name, is it Takashi, something like that? Takashi, I think. And his voice acting was kind of bad. It's really flat. Like, it's almost like they were going for like a stoic kind of Asian stereotype. He talks like this constantly. I am a born hunter, Samus. My family, etc., etc. Listen to the winds, Samus. It's like, this isn't good. And also the game is really invested in that character in particular for some weird reason, to the point that I thought it would be a twist that he was actually the main antagonist. He turned out not to be. The game is just weirdly invested in him. And he prattles on about his backstory every now and again. And it's not an interesting backstory either, but he does it a lot. I should probably highlight at this point, I did like this game. I liked it quite a lot. I do recommend it. Maybe not for the price they're asking for it, but I recommend it. I did like this game. Let's make that clear. Let's highlight that right now. I like this game. If you take anything away from this, it's that I liked this game. Okay. Yeah, there's another set of companions. There's kind of a fangirl trooper and like the sergeant guy. And the sergeant guy was alright. He kept telling everyone to be quiet, which I thought, yeah, that's good actually. You should be quiet in a fucking Metroid game. But the fangirl one, I think, has gotten a bit of ire online for being, a bit adorkable. And she is, but I didn't actually mind that character too much. Again, her most aggravating bits are like the first half hour, and then she largely calms down when they're relatively sure they've established character. I didn't like the design. Oh god, there's another one. There's like a giant punchy robot as well, and he is the best one because he is a giant punchy robot. Enough said. He is massive. He punches things. He talks like a robot, owing to the fact that he is a robot. He's great. Love him. But I didn't like any of their designs particularly. They're all just grey. Recall in Prime 3 that like it opens with like the other bounty hunters, and they've all like wild designs. There, there's the pink shapeshifty one. There's the massive ice one, as I recall, and there's I think a fire one as well. There's like a robot. And they're all really cool, unique designs. In this, they're all agonizingly grey Federation troopers, which I didn't care for at all. But oh yeah, and you have to escort them around a lot as well, which I don't like. I feel like escort quests are such a I thought we were done with escort quests. I thought the people making games these days grew up with escort quests and all hated them, but no. They're back in full force in Prime 4. There's lots of that cliche. I don't think Destiny invented it, but it certainly popularized it. Where a character will go, this might take a while, and then you have to fight a wave of enemies. And then they go, just a little longer, and then there's another wave of enemies. And conveniently, they always finish right as the last enemy gets defeated. Wouldn't you know? What a wild coincidence. And actually this is skipping way forward, but the first phase of the final boss is bad enough babysitting them one at a time, but in this you need to babysit 5 of them at once in the middle of a very difficult boss fight. It's as fun as it sounds. Not a well done boss fight. The second half of that fight is alright, but yeah, that first half. Ooh, what were you thinking with that one? Retro. Didn't nail that one, did you? So that's the characters more or less covered. The bike. I was really excited for the bike when they announced it. I thought that's a really cool addition, very in-character addition. And I've always wondered what would an open world Metroid be like? I feel like that's not an impossible thing to do. I'd be interested in seeing that. Obviously they'd need to make sure that the open world actually has interesting things to do in it and not too much busy work, all that. And they blew it. Oh, it's very annoying. I'm very annoyed, but they blew it. The bike is not good. The open world is not good. It broadly just serves to make everything feel disconnected, and in a way, it didn't in the original Prime. You could believe there's a space elevator from the ice bit to the fire bit. You didn't have any problems believing that because, that game is so full of verisimilitude. But in plonking this whopping great desert between areas, it makes everything feel very disconnected, and it makes it feel very video gamey. You know, oh, this is the... It makes it into a Zelda game. Basically, it makes it into a Zelda game. Sorry, people talked at me. But yeah, they make it into a Zelda game, basically, where not only do these areas exist very much in isolation, there's very little reason to go back to them after you've cleared them. There's some reason. There are, you know, the traditional Metroid host of extras and expansions, whatnot, but yeah, everything feels very disconnected, and that's a big mark against it, I think. I also heard it pointed out on Blue Sky, I believe. The Blue Sky? Maybe it was somewhere else, I don't know. But I heard it pointed out that everything feels a bit uninspired. You know, this game was in development for 8 years, and they came up with Ice World, Fire World, Jungle World, I guess Electricity World, which you don't see very much, but other than that, like, it's a very standard plethora of Nintendo locations. Sure enough, the open world is Desert World. Now, that didn't bother me in Metroid Prime, because, again, very verisimilitudinous, and it made you believe that these areas had a history and that they could be connected to each other. But this great big desert in the middle of Metroid Prime 4, yeah, it really kind of reveals a lack of inspiration behind this game's design, which is a real shame. Considering that, you know, they started going gonzo in Metroid Prime 2 with their locations. There's nothing cliche about those, and same with Prime 3. You know, you go to different planets in that one, and they all feel unique and unlike anything you've seen before or since in Metroid. What do I want to talk about next? What do I want to... Oh yeah, the main activity to do in the Sol Plains is the... I think it's called Sol Plains. Is the desert world. You need to gather green energy crystals so that you can reveal the memory fruit, which is a real sentence people say with actual sincerity in this game, and it doesn't work, but anyway. And here we find another one of my problems, in that these green energy crystals are only in the game to justify the open world. It's like they made the open world, realized there was nothing to do in it, and so needed to, like, invent this kind of currency where you just kind of crash into crystals again and again and absorb them. It's incredibly bland and tedious as a mechanic. Doesn't work at all, isn't fun. And the term green energy crystal is so devoid of inspiration. Again, going back to my central criticism of this game, which again, I liked very much and do recommend, but there is just a lack of inspiration on display. You know, the MacGuffin in the original Prime trilogy was Phazon. This, you know, kind of radioactive chemical element that you learned about, you learned where it was from, you learned what it did, you know, you learned the threat behind it. You understood what Phazon was, and you cared about it. And they gave it a snazzy proper noun to cap everything off. Phazon is a cool word. When you unlock the Phazon suit in Metroid Prime, you think, this is very cool. But yeah, green energy. I'll give you 3 guesses what color it is. You guessed green. Great job. You've primary school level education. That was extremely uninspired. It gives you certain upgrades, some of which are neat enough, I suppose. But none are particularly incredible. When you collect the maximum number of energy crystals, you get a new suit. It gives you a barrier that I'd never used at any point, because it's kind of tedious to remember it's there. Actually, the new suit, the Viola suit, or Walar suit, are we calling it? I don't know. I hate that it's called the Walar as well, or Viola, whatever you want to say. That's not. I don't. Puns don't have a place in Metroid. I don't think, and I don't like that there is. I don't like the name of that bike. I think they call it the Viola, but yeah, they introduced a new suit specifically for driving this motorbike, and I don't like it aesthetically. I can't quite put my foot on why, but there's something very standard, very nondescript about it. Again, going back to the lack of inspiration. It's just a bit... It's not much to look at. It's not a very memorable design. It's no light suit from Prime 2, you know? A phase-on suit from Prime 1. But when you collect all the energy crystals, you do get like an upgraded version that is like silver and black, and that looks okay. That's an improvement aesthetically. It does mean you blend in with the general boring grey aesthetic of the troopers, but nevertheless, I thought it looked okay at that point, you know. But the worst suit in Metroid history remains the what is it? Is it the Varia suit from Fusion? Gravity suit from Fusion, maybe? It's the snot green one from Fusion. I don't remember off the top of my head which one that is. But yeah, basically the aim of the game is you've got to fight all the bosses in all the dungeons, and they are dungeons in this, and get the teleporter keys and leave. And all the while, like I think I mentioned this earlier, but there's no greater objective. Your only objective is to leave. There's no higher calling, no anything like that. You just get out of there. The best bit in this game was the ice dungeon. That's where the game really came alive, where it really started feeling like Metroid Prime should feel. Where kind of going through these broadly abandoned labs where they're full of like cryogenic pods full of subjects that like died centuries ago. And everything's offline, everything's like degraded. And you need to get the power back on, and then there's all these logs around from like a scientist about how like their like enhancement projects are going, and then they're going like really badly, and they're trying to fix everything and nothing's working, and they're going to have to abandon the lab, and there's this real palpable sense of doom that suits Metroid Prime to a T. That is the best bit of the game by far. And it's just atmosphere and world building and lore. That's wonderful. And there it actually kind of justifies, you know, the more arguably generic aesthetic, because like it's a cryogenics lab. Like, of course they'd make it somewhere cold, right? Makes perfect sense. But that bit of the game was really good. I like that a lot. None of the other worlds particularly inspired, I have to admit. Vault Forge is probably the worst area. That just serves as like a tutorial area for the bike. And you go back there once to I forget what exactly you have to go back there to do. Is I think you unlock a new ability of the bike or some such. Oops, hit my mic, that's fine. But the other kind of... I suppose there is one other thing to do in the open world, and that is I've got to find bits of a mech. Like a giant Evangelion, but no, it's more of a Gundam. You got to find a great big... Oh, maybe it's more of an armored core. But you got to find parts for this great big mech that you can only do when the boring Japanese man I was talking to you about randomly decides to give you the upgrade that lets you teleport them back to Fury Green. Which is weird. Because you've been finding them the whole game, and it only goes at the end. By the way, now you have to find these mech parts. Like, I know. I've been waiting for you to say I can collect the damn mech parts. I could have been doing this all along, for God's sake. But anyway. So you collect these mech bits. And for all the trouble of collecting them, what happens is it's in one cutscene where it shoots at a force field and then breaks. Glad we got on with that. Oh, and that's a really annoying bit of like Whedonism that snuck into the game. That Miles McKenzie calls it Betsy. Like, not in Metroid, not a Metroid game, not in any game, but least of all Metroid, man. Just cannot figure out who that character must have had to go through. So many like executives and higher ups. No one ever questioned that character. That is stunning to me. But anyway. So yeah, this mech, giant mech, is in one cutscene, immediately breaks. Doesn't face any resistance. You don't have to like defend the mech. It just like, oh, turn the power all the way up. Oh, it broke. Did we get into the place? Yeah. All right, whatever. It's like, oh, really, really happy I spent time on that particular plot thread. And throughout the game, Sylux has been kind of stalking you a bit. He's been like controlling robots that he's made, like he's projected himself onto, and you have a couple boss fights with him. And you're thinking the whole game, what does Sylux want? What's Sylux's motivation? We'll get to Sylux's motivation. Anyway. So you're going through this tower again. Even though you started the game there, I guess you're returning there. Nothing's changed. Just now you've got a group of 5 wankers with you going, whoa, amazing, whoa. As charming as a nail in the eye. And so the final boss of this game, I suppose we're heading towards that, is Sylux, as you might have guessed. And you see a couple flashbacks. They're treated as like... I thought the whole game that Samus was having like premonitions of the future where she does something terrible and like lets a load of people down, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Is that like the consequence of these psychic powers? Is she like unable to like... Is she seeing the past, the present, and the future all as one, and it's kind of messing with her? No, she's just having memories. She's just remembering something that happened once. And we'll get to what happened, but apparently she just gets migraines when she remembers one specific thing once. So the final boss is Sylux, and as I mentioned, the first phase of this boss fight is incredibly bad because not only is he like, does he have like very high damage attacks, you need to babysit 5 wankers throughout this entire fight, and if one of them dies, game over. You got to start again. And there's like AoE attacks that like spread through the entire floor, and you have to like stand right next to them to heal them, so you have to take damage in order to heal the squad mates. And oh god, what a terrible bit of design. But anyway, you do this fight, and then it improves some. The boss after that, the phase 2 of this fight improves some. We go into a bit sort of like that bit at the opening of Prime 3. Where you're falling down the big tube with Ridley. By the way, Ridley isn't in this game, which I'm not opposed to. I think Ridley needs a rest after his egregious cameo in Samus Returns. But anyway, and he's in Smash Brothers now. He's happy. He's happy letting other people have a turn. Sylux and Kraid can get it up in there. It's fine. And where was it? Oh yeah, the second phase is pretty standard like shootout. You're in like, and I don't understand the where this comes from, but yeah, you fall through like a space portal, and then you're on a space platform fighting Sylux, and that's the final boss basically. And that's not a terribly difficult fight, but it is quite satisfying because, you know, I like one-on-one fights. The fight against Dark Samus in Prime 2 are fun. You know, Ridley fights are of fun whenever they crop up. Certainly it's better than being surrounded with 5 absolutely insufferable babblers the whole game. But yeah, that's a pretty straightforward fight. So you beat him. And then the ending of this game is so weird, and I'm going to have to use the word bad, I'm sorry to say. But again, highlighting, I did like this game and I do recommend it. I know I'm not saying anything positive about it, but I do recommend this game. At its best, it's Metroid Prime exactly as it should be, but modernized. With that said, the ending's bad. So you spent the whole game getting close to your squad, your new besties. All of that is in quotation marks. It's all the reality is that you can't stand any of them. But that's the story of the game. You're coming close to this squad and depending on each other and learning about them, whatnot. And in the end, when you're about to go through the Master Teleporter, you're about to return home with them. Surprise, Sylux comes back through the portal. As was relatively predictable, but there he is. And everyone kind of gathers around to kind of stop him. They're all kind of sacrificing themselves to save Samus. And then the last bit of gameplay in the game is simply pressing a button. It is activating the Master Teleporter. Now, if you've played any AAA game in the last 15 years at least, there's a certain kind of cinematography, first-person cinematography, you will know instinctively, and that is when a character kind of looks at their squad. This is what happens in this sequence. Samus looks at the squad, all holding back Sylux, going, "Go now, Samus, go quickly!" And then you look over at the teleporter button, and then Samus slowly raises her hand, hover over it, and then the prompt appears. They're all saying, "You don't have much time, you need to go now!" And every gamer instinct in my brain is saying, this is the choice between the good ending and the bad ending, because what you're meant to do, clearly, you're meant to reject the teleporter and save the friends you've become so close to. So what I did was I let the teleporter time out. At which point, it gave me a game over and I had to do the final boss again. What? Why the fuck did you make that a bit of gameplay if like there was no choice? What? You're gonna make me do all that again? And luckily it only makes you do like the latter half, the easier half of that fight. But that felt insane. I felt like I was going crazy. Like, all you can do is press the teleporter. Press the teleporter button and go home. So these friends you've been getting close to the entire game, which again, you haven't been getting close to them. You've been wishing death on all of them but the robot one, who is cool and can stay. These friends you've been making throughout the entire game, it ends with you going, "Yeah, fuck you guys, bye. I'm out of here. Go fuck yourselves. Hope Sylux kills you slowly." Which is the only thing that can happen to them, because now they're stranded in a desert with, like, an insane mercenary who will definitely kill them all, because I was in the boss fight with them earlier, and they do not do well at surviving this guy. And the game ends. Samus plants the tree. The boring sniper gave her like a pendant, and she hangs that on the tree. And then she sadly walks away, having accomplished basically nothing. The entire narrative of this game was essentially pointless. Something I did learn, however, Samus is voiced in this game. She doesn't talk, but, you know, standard array of grunts and screams and whatnot. Voiced by the same person that did Blonde Blazer in Dispatch, which I thought was fun. But anyway. But Sylux's origin story, who I think you can unlock in-game, but also if you tap an amiibo, the Sylux amiibo, to the Switch, you get the backstory, which is bullshit, but anyway. And you're thinking, oh, I'm finally going to learn. What's this guy's beef with Samus? We'll learn together. And basically, Sylux was a Federation commander, and he was assaulting a base. And in this bit, the Prime 1 versions of the Space Pirates get a appearance, which I thought was really nice. You get the music, the Prime 1 Space Pirate music as well, which is good. But he's in this big battle with the Space Pirates, and the objective is to capture this big weapon, and Sylux gets a message over comms saying, oh, hang back, Samus is going to do it. And he disobeys, and he gets his squad killed. And then Samus does it, as she was always going to. And for some reason this makes him incredibly angry at Samus. I did not understand this motivation at all. Like, he fucked up at his job very clearly and very openly. And he's like, yo, fuck Samus. What she did to me. What? What the hell are you talking about? This is a crap motivation. And that's kind of the note Metroid Prime 4 ends on. It's like, oh, that ending was bad and that motivation doesn't make any sense. Thanks for waiting 8 years. And again, highlighting it again, I very much recommend this game. I criticize because I love this series, and indeed this sub-series. It's very important to me, and I want it to be as good as possible. Which this game was not in every regard it could have been. Is it my least favourite Prime? I don't know. I've not played Prime 3 in a long, long time. I started a playthrough some time ago, but I didn't get very far on an emulator. I think it would be a toss-up between Prime 3 and Prime 4, for which is quite my least favourite Prime. I've not played Federation Force, but nor has anyone, so... But are there any miscellaneous notes I can think of? I'm sure there are, but... Oh, there were no visors. There's the Psychic Visor and the Combat Visor, of course. But those are the only two. There's no, like, extra visors. There's no X-ray visor. There's no, like, command visor like you had in Prime 3. So it felt kind of uninspired in that regard. And that is, I suppose, the unfortunate takeaway from this game. Is uninspired. You know, everything just feels like... This took 8 years? Really? Okay, I guess. So I would recommend this game. If you are a Metroid fan, if you are a Metroid Prime fan, of course this is mandatory. Of course it is. And you will have a good time. I had a good time. Just to bring it back to that one more time. Other M is still by a wide margin the worst Metroid, and it's not even remotely a competition. It just would have been nice if they creatively pushed themselves a bit more. And also had a scene when Miles McKenzie gets his skull ripped out by Sylux. And then the remainder of his corpse explodes. That would have been nice. But I think that's about everything I have to say about Prime 4. Obviously, there's more stuff I could discuss. Maybe there's more stuff I should discuss. But for now, I think that'll do it. And as I say, any lingering disappointments in this game I did enjoy are softened for the fact that Dread exists and is an absolute masterpiece. So with this said, shall we play Deus Ex? What I'm going to do... I think I've been talking for... pushing an hour now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the starting soon screen. I'm going to get myself a drink, go to the bathroom, all of that. We can sort ourselves out. I recommend you do the same. I'll change categories. And then we can get on with Deus Ex. I don't know that we'll get very far with just an hour, but hey, we'll give it a go. We will give it a go. So, I'll be right back. I'll see you in a moment. Ba-bam! It would help if the microphone was pointing towards me. Okay. We're back. Are we back? Oh. Yes, there we go. Okay. Where did we get to last time? We foiled something or other. Oh yeah, there was a terrorist holding a woman captive, and no matter what you see or hear, I did manage to do it first time. My voice is really going. Maybe I shouldn't have talked for a solid hour. I don't know. Anyway, shall we continue? I think we should. I intend to. Now, unfortunately, the moment for punching this woman out and it being funny has passed because there's a million. I say a million. There's 2 SWAT officers here. But I want to show you something that happens when we take the tranquilizer gun and we holster it. Is the alarm going to go away? I don't think it is. Well, I kind of walk away. Oh, when I was trying this earlier, like, a million SWAT officers showed up. It was really funny. Okay, I've just kind of broken their brains. She's not dead, is she? No, okay. Oh, I was going to say I think I'd soft lock the game, but no, I just go through this door.
You made a lot of people happy tonight, Jensen. And not just the men in suits.
It's what they pay me for.
No.
What they pay me
for. They pay you to
for.
put corporate interests ahead of people. You found a way to satisfy everyone. Guess Dr. Reed was telling the truth about you.
Megan? What are you talking about, Malik?
Before you were hired, she said the papers were lying about Mexican Town. That you weren't fired from the force. You quit when you realized Protect and Serve had become Protect and Serve the corporate interest. Nice to see she was right. You ready to go?
He's a very weird shape, is our Adam Jensen, isn't he? He's like the shape of a bowling pin.
Yeah, get me out of here, Malik.
Your wish is my command. Climb in.
How's the audio levels, by the way? I always like to know that they're as they should be.
New orders just in, Jensen. The boss wants Pritchard to examine the Typhoon ASAP.
Copy that. Thanks for the lift.
No problem. Hey, and Jensen, I just wanted to say, new look suits you. Like, you haven't missed a beat at all.
Thanks.
So, how's it feel? Being augmented?
Excuse me?
Don't take it the wrong way. I mean, I've got a few neuro enhancements myself. Discreet ones to help me fly better. But I chose to get them implanted. You didn't. Now that you had a chance to try them out, what do you think?
Is grudging I didn't ask for this? I'm gonna say that one.
I'm not gonna lie and say they didn't come in handy back there. But like you said, I didn't choose to get augmented.
So it'll take some getting used to.
I don't
get
think
it.
that was the line. Dang it.
But don't be surprised if the boss keeps pushing you to get more.
Why? What do you mean?
You know how he is. He thinks augmentations are the be-all, end-all of everything. And he can't understand why someone wouldn't want to become more than human.
Megan used to say the same thing.
I'm not surprised. The research she was doing was pretty damn inspired. Might have convinced a lot more people to give what we make here a try.
If that bastard hadn't killed her.
Listen, Jensen. I know you want to find the men who attacked us, and so do I. If I can help in any way, all you gotta do is ask.
Actually, there is something. I want to know about the first attack.
I
Fine.
love this man's voice so
Ask
much.
away.
I've been thinking about why they attacked. What they were really after.
Isn't it obvious? They didn't want us going to Washington.
No, that was just timing. Hearings can be rescheduled. Somebody else can present Megan's findings.
I don't think so, Jensen. They took out her whole team. Declan Faraday, Vasily Savchenko, Nia Colvin, even Eric Koss. The labs their bodies were found in.
We're burned to a crisp. I know.
The only reason you weren't caught in the fire was because that retaining wall came down. Saved your life, believe it or not.
So the whole attack was just to destroy Megan's research.
Sure looks that way. Mr. Seraph is hoping to reconstruct it, but it may take months. If he can keep us solvent that long.
You were there that night. What do you remember about it?
That it was chaos. First, everybody figured there'd been some kind of accident, but Pritchard couldn't get a good visual and communications were haywire. Then we heard the explosions. By the time anyone knew what had hit us,
They were gone.
whoever they were good, Jensen. Special training good.
I'm gonna find them, Malik. One way or another.
I believe you. And just so you know, when you do, I've got your back.
I appreciate that, Malik, but right now...
You've got to get the Typhoon into the tech lab, right? See you later then. Oh, and Jensen, the boss wants a face-to-face debrief in his office once it's secure.
Roger that. Good night, Malik.
His shoulders are just absurd. Why are their shoulders that shape, my lord? Faith and Bagor. Oh yeah, that was what I was gonna do. Options, video, display mode. Oh, there's no windowless mode. Rats! Bother! Oh well, it's...
Wow. Didn't expect to see you back so soon, Mr. Jensen. I heard you were nearly a goner.
Thought he called me a gooner. He didn't. That would be strange.
Hello? Oh, well, I'm not surprised. Technology to the forefront.
Can I pick up the TV? Oh, that's no fun. Was this the same year as Skyrim? I think it was. Yeah. What am I actually meant to be doing? Give the Typhoon to Pritchard. I can do that. I'm good at giving Pritchard things. This isn't the way, although it is a door. Oh. I understand. I have an inkling where I went wrong. I'll enact penitence by going the correct way.
David and you, Darrow? The hell if I know. What did Bill Gates and Steve Jobs talk about?
I bet he's trying to convince him to come out of hiding and make a statement that will counteract Bill Taggart.
Darrow is not hiding.
I think that's the first time, like, real tech billionaires have ever been mentioned in Deus Ex.
Billionaires do when they get bored. Save the world. Didn't you know that?
Well, if it isn't Mahatma Gandhi himself, come to honor us all with his life-preserving presence. If this is about the typhoon, I'll get to it in a minute.
Now, Pritchard. I didn't
His
respect
life-preserving
that.
presence, except those, like, 3 guys I killed, but...
Adapters.
Well, look at you, using the big words. Don't think just because you hacked through the plant security system so fast that you're an expert on everything computer. There's a reason I can't examine the typhoon yet.
Do tell.
For your information, I am running a diagnostic sweep on our network and router security to find out how Sanders' hacker got a hold of our codes.
I'd have thought the first question to ask is, whose codes were they? Unless you already know.
Stick to kicking down doors and shooting people, Jensen, and stop trying to do my job. I guarantee you we'll get along better that way.
Oh man, I wish I'd gone to the women's bathroom, because he tells you off for doing that. He gets that line in this game. I don't think it was in Invisible War, but they brought it back for this one because it's like such a well-known thing. What am I doing? Meet with Sarif. Entirely trustworthy, charismatic billionaire David Sarif. Is Sarif a thing in, like, mythology? I know it sounds like a bit like Seraphim. Is that what they were going for? Sarif, Seraphim? I don't know. I'm going to say definitely.
No kidding. General O'Neill has all of them.
Beautiful. Now,
Megan made her presentation in Washington. The UN wouldn't even be considering restrictions.
We don't know that for sure.
And if they hadn't been considering it, Bill Taggart wouldn't have gone to Geneva to give that damn speech.
Talks all over the office, Mr. J. You really took care of those purity first, asshole. Wish I could have been there.
is it... There is a map. I could just look at that. Ah, alright. I have found the elevator, ladies and gentlemen. The mystery has been solved by me.
Yeah, it's me.
I'm telling you, Hugh, he might not have put the gun in Sanders' hand, but it was Taggart's speech to the UN that started all this.
William Taggart is nothing if not a shrewd political operator. You know that, David.
So for the sake of appearances, I have to look him in the eye and let him bullshit me?
With a smile. Always with a smile. We'll talk later.
Ah, Jensen, I see your shape is really weird.
Yeah, you wanted to see me?
Yeah, how you feeling?
I've had better days.
Well, when we're done here, check him with Dr. Markovic at the Limb Clinic downtown. Get her to get a checkup.
If you insist. Listen, about Sanders?
Yeah, about Sanders. What the hell were you thinking? Letting him slip away like that? I sent you in there to take care of things.
hoping it'll pay off for us later. Sanders was furious when he found out his hacker was augmented. He's not gonna rest till he finds out who set him up.
Oh, and you're naive enough to think he'll share the information when he gets it. I thought you were ready for this, Adam.
I am. Today's attack was just a shell game being run by somebody else. I intend to find out who and why, so that it
And when. And which.
Good, because so do I. That hacker in Sanders' group, you're sure he was augmented?
I pulled his cables out myself.
Yeah, well, the police are saying he's not, and they're refusing to let me see the body, no matter how much money I threaten to pull from their retirement fund.
Maybe someone else is offering more. So what do you want me to do, boss?
We have to get a look at the corpse. You still got friends on the force? You think one of them will let you into the morgue?
Depends who I run into.
Get over to the station and find a way inside. Because if that hacker was augmented, his neural hub might tell us who he was. Contact me when you've gotten a hold of it.
Boss, what you're asking me to do, it's not exactly legal.
No, it isn't. You got a problem with that?
Just figured I'd point it out.
Oh, thanks. And believe me, if I had another option, we'd be taking it. But these past 6 months, seems like all the influence I built up in this city just dried up and blew away.
Well, you were able to keep SWAT from infiltrating the plant until I got the Typhoon.
Just barely. And now someone else is pulling strings to keep us in the dark? We need that neural hub, son. It's key to finding out who's behind these attacks.
And taking out the men who did it. I'm on it.
Alright. I remember first time I played this game, I really liked David Sarif. He felt like really charismatic and down to earth and all that. But no, this playthrough, he's clearly like a knobhead. This guy's just an arsehole. Much like all billionaires, but anyway.
Adam, were you just speaking to David? I didn't know he'd finished his call. Is everything okay?
As well as can be expected.
Right, like I know what that means anymore. The phone's been ringing off the hook ever since Bill Taggart's little press conference this evening.
Taggart. Sarif was speaking about him when I walked in. What's the founder of the Humanity Front saying about us now?
Oh, he's all sincere this time. Denouncing all the violence that's been committed against us, offering to come here in person to express his deepest sympathies.
Right. No wonder the boss seems grumpy.
Can you blame him? If it were up to Luddites like Taggart, you would have died on that operating table. The problem is, he knows how to play on people's fears.
Tampering with human biology can be pretty scary.
Tell that to all the war ants whose lives have been improved because of it. But if Taggart has his way, if he can sway popular opinion enough, then the United Nations will be forced to take a stand. Mark my words. That man is trouble.
I'm gonna press 5 here. I want to know, can I, No, I can't punch her. I don't want to punch her. I really like this character, actually, but... Actually, can I punch Sarif? No, you can on the last level. Can on the last level, and rest assured we will be doing that, but... Alright, where in the name of the devil is my office? It's on level 3. Beautiful.
I don't buy for a second he was with Purity first. I think someone slipped him into Sanders' group to manipulate those thugs.
glad to see ya. Damn it, now I sound like his girlfriend or something. Hey, Jensen. Man, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're back. How are you holding up?
I manage.
I'm sorry about Megan. I know it must be hard. For a while, we thought you were a goner, too. Everything's going to shit. The attack on HQ, and now this mess with the factory.
Yeah, tough times all around. How about you, Corella? You okay?
I don't know. I fucked up. I mean bad.
What happened?
Well, a couple of months ago, me and Tyndall, you know, one of Pritchard's techs, we started sneaking out some neuropozyne from one of the labs.
Jesus, Tim. You realize this could get you fired. Worse, arrested if the company chooses to prosecute. What were you thinking?
I know. It's complicated. I didn't want to do it at first, but there were good reasons. Anyway, now I want out, but Tyndall has security footage of me stealing the stuff and says he'll expose me if I ever stop helping him. I'm in a bad spot, Adam. I need that footage back. I know you're busy with everything that's going on right now, but I could really use your help.
Okay.
All right. Tell me more.
Really? Wow. Thanks, Adam. I thought I was done for. The security footage will probably be on his apartment computer. Meet me in front of the subway station parking lot once you get a hold of it.
Care to give me a few more details on exactly what it is you want me to do?
Oh, yeah, sure. The footage will probably be in his apartment. On his computer, maybe.
So what? I just look him up in the phone book?
His apartment is near Brooklyn Court. It might be tough to get in because his building has a large security gate protecting it.
Well, that's just great.
Hacking the security gate is possible, but would require advanced hacking skills. You might have to look around for an alternate path. Maybe use the fire escape or something.
Alright, so I have to break and enter both someone's apartment and a police station. Yeah. Oh, hello. Hey, it loaded. My computer's getting loud, but that's fine. Actually, I want to go back on the computer. Doors none connected. Well, that's fine. Oh, it's got a Roomba. Were they a thing in 2011? I don't know. So what are my goals? What am I doing these days? I think this game actually gives you like waypoints and objective markers, which on the one hand is a bit hand-holdy, but on the other, I mean, I'm not saying no, to be honest, because in the first game you can get really turned around because everything's very grey.
The whole thing just brings back bad memories. I love working here, but it's hard knowing that at any second...
God, I can't talk about it. What if another bunch of radicals burst through the door like right now and start shooting?
I know. It's so awful. Because you'd be the first to... I mean, you'd be...
I'd be the first to what?
Nothing. Forget it.
Alright, Detroit. I'm going to adjust my eating position. There we go. That was worth pointing out. I feel richer for the experience.
Mrs. Reed?
Ah, Adam, I'm sorry you startled me. And please, call me Cassandra. You and Megan were together long enough. I was waiting for you.
Out here? Why not come meet me inside?
I don't know. I guess I'm just not ready. This is where you work, but to me, this is also the place where I lost my daughter.
I know what you mean. It's never been the same for me either.
I guess it's not meant to be easy. It seems there's just no right way to deal with something like this. And I can't even begin to imagine how things have been for you after all you've been through.
Yeah. A lot of things changed 6 months ago.
I can't get over how much they've changed you. At first, I couldn't even believe you were still alive. How do you...
Oh, was this? I never asked for this.
I never asked for this.
Hey, he said the thing.
You saved me, but I'm not sure saved is the right word.
I understand your anger. I wouldn't take too kindly to people making that kind of decision for me, either. But
God, I love his
that being
jacket.
said, I, for one, am glad that you're still among us.
Can I ask why you wanted to see
Among
me?
Us?
Yes, of course, I'm sorry. I'm
Follow and
here
subscribe.
about Megan, about what happened to her, or rather, about the investigation into what happened.
What about it?
Well, simply put, I feel something is not quite right with the way the case was handled.
You think there was some foul play involved?
I do. Call it mother's intuition. But when speaking to some of the investigators, there were a lot of inconsistencies. And then I met this detective, a man called Chase. He agreed things weren't handled by the book, although he has no proof.
He has a sidekick called Status.
I'll never hear my daughter laugh again, Adam.
Or
I'll
will
never
she?
get a call from her to ask how I've been, or have the chance to ask her about her day. She was stolen from me. However unjustified this all is, I still want to know why it happened. You're not the same, Adam. And we've yet to see if it's for better or worse. But I know you loved Megan. Please, will you help me find out what really happened to her?
I never got a chance to investigate the attack myself. I'll look into it.
Thank you. This means the world to me, Adam. Really.
The first thing I'll need to do is meet with this detective, Chase.
Good. He works part-time as a security guard in an apartment building on Brooklyn Court. I'll be waiting for you in your apartment lobby once you're done.
Why does a detective need to work part-time as a security guard?
Oh, he retired soon after the case. I don't really know the details. Maybe he'll tell you more.
I'm on it.
My puncher. Oh no, we have fun though. No, I would never. No, I would never do anything that callous. But it is hysterical.
I don't really have anything against it. I just think it's disgusting. I mean, grafting metal into your skin? Yuck.
I guess you don't have any tattoos.
It's not the same. You don't need to take drugs for the rest of your life when you have a tattoo.
Well, I think what you do to your body is up to you.
Yeah? Well, when everybody's done doing what they want, what happens to people like us who refuse to become machines? We become the weaker species, that's what. And the next thing you know, we'll be the ones living in derelict row.
Wow, you really don't have an opinion on this, do you?
What the fuck? Where did that guy come from?
Tell me something. How can anyone justify protesting at a limb clinic? They're helping people, for Christ's sakes.
There's one thing I will say about this game's narrative. It doesn't do a good enough job at, like, presenting the downsides of augmentation. Or it does present those sides, but, like, the people that are against it are such, like, nut bars. Such, like, raging fascists that it's like... Yeah, I'm gonna go with the people that want robot arms, to be honest. Anyway. Should we do? Do the side quests, I think is. Oh, it's on the minimap in the corner. The very small minimap that is not scaling with the computer.
Well, shit. If it ain't the captain himself.
Eee.
Mr. Seraph done fixed you up good.
Oh, what were they going for with this character?
Glasses and everything. Damn.
How you doing, Letitia?
Didn't think I'd see you walking this boulevard anytime soon. That's for sure.
What was the plan here?
What happened 6 months ago? People said you's down for the count.
People tend to underestimate me.
You and me both, Captain. You and me both.
Oh.
Got any credits you could spare?
I wish I could offer you a drink, Tish, but I know you only like Hop Devil.
Oh, that's all right, Captain. It's the thought that counts.
How about you give me some information, and then we'll see.
Oh, damn, Captain. You ain't no cop no more. Why you gotta insist on using them rules?
Because it's my money this time, not the department's. You want it, you better give me something that's worth it.
Yeah, I guess. So what you wanna know?
I might need to do a little trespassing soon. Maybe get inside some places where I'd rather not be seen going in.
You being kind of vague, Cap, but maybe it's best I don't know the Pacifics.
You got that right.
Oh, this character's uncomfortable. So why did they go with such an overtly, like, racist caricature? I don't know. Or is this just like a Detroit character that actually exists? I don't know.
Too squeamish about getting dirty. They might be able to get inside one or more sensitive areas in the city, especially if they arm themselves ahead of time with the right information. Interesting thing about the sewers in the city, Captain.
What kind of thing? I think I've got all the info.
All right.
I ain't got nothing for you. Check with the man. And keep your hands where I can see them.
What side quest is this story? I see.
Got anything you want to buy or sell? I'm the guy you want to deal with. Everything's on the computer, right at your fingertips. See you soon.
Hey. Diablo 3. Yeah, let's do a break and entering. That's fun. Wholesome, as they say.
Grayson hooked me up with some real tight merch. Those art lovers get in my face now, I'm ready to pop.
Grayson? Where he at these days?
Yo, where you been, man? You been running shit through that abandoned gas station for weeks.
Oh, word? I wanted to get some upgrades for my Zenith 10 mil.
He can hook you up nice, man. If you go, tell him I sent you. I want a discount next time.
Oh, can I get an upgrade? Oh, I've got points. Okay, what do I want to... What's like the smart thing to get? Hmm. Social enhancer? Ooh, big jumps, big sprints. Do I want big sprints or big arms? Because that was like the easy mode in Deus Ex 1. I'm going to go with big arms. And I'm going to buy punch through wall. Okay. Was that a mistake? Doesn't feel like a mistake, but I suppose we'll find out together, won't we?
Hello there. Well, you must be Adam Jensen.
A keen observation.
Mrs. Reed told me you might pay me a visit. And don't take this the wrong way, but you're kind of hard to miss.
I'll try to take that as a compliment. She told me you might have information regarding Megan Reed's case and the attack on Seraph headquarters.
Oh boy, what a mess. Total pissing match. We had the feds on our ass, orders from 3 different departments, and pressure from so many lobbyists it felt like being the scrawny new kid in a prison shower.
It is a very high-profile case. Mrs. Reed said you thought some procedures were overlooked.
You got that right. I mean, you know how it is. Mrs. Reed told me you used to be a cop. There's always cases where you see the lazy officers taking shortcuts. But this was different.
Different how?
Too much stuff got overlooked. People seemed way too eager to jump to conclusions, and every time I was remotely insistent, I got turned down by ranking officers. People wanted to bury this thing fast. That's never a good sign.
Surely you have something more substantial than this.
Yeah, well, that's where you come in. I got a couple of leads I could never fully investigate. I started poking around, but these government-type agents just gave me the creeps. I got scared. Months away from retirement, I didn't want to fuck things up. But you obviously have the means to get to the bottom of this.
So what have you got?
First off, there's a rumor that the order to close the investigation came from higher up, maybe even outside the local department. Anything like that would have passed through Captain Penn.
Guess I'll have to pay a visit.
Well, while you're there, there was an officer assigned to the...
Okay, I'll have a look.
You'll most likely find him in the lobby.
Anything else worth...
Yeah, when the order came down...
Thanks for that.
It's nothing.
Eve.
That's all I need for now.
Yeah, all right. Little twist, he's also the origami killer. We'll find weird French people in his shitty apartment. I don't know what this door is. I presume it's like his bedroom or something.
Access granted.
Damn, this is a nice ass apartment. I like this. Okay, this paper was written in September 22. I think was the month the Queen died.
My pit bull augmented. Get him some cyber paws, cyber fangs and shit. Throw him in the ring.
Dogmentation?
Yeah, word.
This city is one big gutter and always
Oops, casually punched the microphone. Apparently I'm not good enough at being a hacker to hack good, so...
Damn right. I've been living for 10 years. When I got the right to get enhanced,
Right, so where can we go? Let's go. Is that where I've just been? Wait, so okay, I need to kind of wiggle through this back area. Like so. This up and oh my god, that is a vigorous basketball. Vigorous. Physics. Now, let's crouch through. This the way. Beautiful. Now, crouch. Through. What's up here?
Adam? You got that neural hub yet?
You're asking me to pull off a heist, boss, inside a police station. It's gonna take time.
Right. Well, if you can't talk your way past the lobby, there's gotta be another entrance outside, in back or on the roof. Save the frontal assault as a last resort.
As I recall, there's basically no consequence for doing the frontal assault method. Other than, like, getting shot at a bunch, but... yeah.
Please move along.
Need things I can stock. This is an immersive sim and I will stack plentifully. Ah, you'll do. Need another box. Nurse, get me a box. Ah, here we go. Exactly a box, but conceptually, it is a box. Don't question anything, officer. I threw one bin, come on. It was one bin. Goddamn outrage. Okay, latest save. Where was it? Please don't be too far away.
I'm thinking about getting my pit bull augmented. Get him some cyber paws, cyber fangs.
Up, 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 up. I'm essentially just kind of screwing around. In playing this game, I've kind of not left myself enough time to really do anything of any substance, so I'm just here to be a menace to society more than anything. So I might be able to pull off this side quest today, who knows? Hack! And what am I hacking here? You... There we go. I wasn't doing an impression of the Martians from Mars Attacks, but the resemblance was, I confess, uncanny. Now, a new security gate has been installed and activated. The gate code is 0002. That's a shit password. I'm performing a proper breaking and entering, aren't I?
Doesn't make sense. I know something was there. Yo, Tyndall! I know you're here, man!
I'll take your shotgun while I'm at it. Put a box on top of you. No, I'll cover him in boxes, actually. For like a drug pusher, this guy has a really nice apartment. I think he's a drug pusher. Yeah, he's a drug pusher. Actually, no, I think traditionally they have fairly nice apartments because of their misdeeds. Okay, and this might kill him, so I will quick save. determined to kind of politically get this bridge across the border. No real reason, I just want to. I feel like it's a good use of my time. Oh, they'll have such fun explaining this one. Oh, his fridge fell on him in his bedroom. Yeah, that's that sounds viable. Ah, and off we go. It's fine. He was trying to kill me. It's legal when I say it is. How do I leave? Do I have to go back to the roof? Right, where was the bloke? What I had to find? Tyndall. Oh, he's right there. That's convenient.
Wait till the UN passes that legislation.
Jensen? What are you doing here?
I think you know why I'm here, Tyndall. I want Corella's security footage back.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm Seraph Industries' chief of security. I'm pretty sure I can find out about an edited security tape, so don't bullshit me.
Ah, shit. Listen, Jensen, I never wanted things to get this bad. I'm not a bad guy. I feel for Corella, I really do. But sometimes, for a good cause, you have to get your hands dirty.
Oh, there's a good cause now?
Oh, I see. You think I'm selling the stuff, right? I understand why this would seem like an obvious motive, especially to an ex-cop. But trust me, you shouldn't always take things at face value. I'm not selling the neuropazine, I'm giving it away.
Giving it away? To who?
To the people who need it. You think everyone gets augmented by choice? No. Shit happens. And then what? You're saddled with neuropazine injections for the rest of your life, and that shit costs money. But what choice do you have? Without the drug, you'll die. Rejection syndrome, crippling pain, that just ain't right. So I did the only decent thing to do. I stepped up.
I can respect that. But blackmail is still blackmail. Corella wants out, and I'm here to make sure he gets out.
Man, this whole thing is becoming way too much trouble. I've even got 2 local pushers on my back because they say my philanthropic actions are undercutting their profit.
That's not your only problem. A gun-toting client was waiting for you in your apartment earlier.
Really? In my apartment? Shit, the dealers probably sent him. Tell you what.
He dropped a fridge on him.
With the client later.
After I smacked him in the chops.
And the footage is yours.
Okay, I'll help you out. But you better not be playing me.
You give me way too much credit, Jensen. I'm a security tech, not a hardened mobster. The 2 pushers go by the name PG and BK. They hang out in the alley near the basketball court. Just make sure they never bother me again.
Deal.
A deal in the most sinister way possible. Anyway. Let's walk over there and punch some Lots in the face. Nah, they're okay.
Damn Ogs. Power-hungry bastards. Every last one of them.
I broke my leg 10 years ago and it ain't never really healed. I guess I have to live with it since I'll never be able to buy me an Og.
Look at you, man. Another sucker who bought a bunch
You
of
an
crap you never
ex-banger?
really needed.
You got the look. Maybe you know the Big Ant. He's been busting DRB heads for years.
Hang on, where's my tranquilizer? Did not go as I was planning, but I feel like the basis is there. Load latest. Hopefully that was right where I did it. Quick save instinctively, I don't make particular note of it. Ah, good, it was right here. Okay.
Sounded like it came from over there.
You see that?
See anything?
Take the bastard down.
And one more try. I feel like I'm onto something here with the tranquilize and punch themed approach. Diplomacy. And this will be the last thing I do, I think, before we call it a day here. Sailed poetically over their heads. This one will be the one they remember me for. I guarantee it. Load. Man, I really should have bought like the double punch thing with his upgrade points, but I didn't, for I am simple. I'm a humble, simple little boy, and this game does take a while to load considering it's installed on a NVMe, but we'll leave that aside. It takes ages to load. Like 14 years old, why is it taking that long?
Did you hear that?
Wait here for a bit. Screen is very red right now. This cover break. I'm gonna fucking do it, chat, if it kills me. I know my fucking tranquilized gun's still shit. It's better than the one in the first game, but it's still shit.
Sounded like it came.
Fuck you. Was it F8 to quick load? Accept. It loads quickly except for the fact that there's a menu you have to go. There we go. F5. There we are. Looks like he's got an augmented penis. That's... We'll ignore that. Make them scissor. Okay, that's a good note to end on. It's a very mature note to close off this stream on. So, thank you very much for watching. I want to make them 69. No, it's not funny. It's not even remotely funny. Come on. Don't laugh. God's sake. Oh. Yeah, okay, enough funny sex poses. Well, nothing left to say except thank you very much for watching, and do join me again next week, which will be starting on Monday, I think. Probably. 1 week to Christmas, Jesus Christ. Will I be streaming next week? Maybe. A resounding maybe. But shall we look for anyone to raid? In the meantime, I'll say follow me on all the socials, follow here on Twitch, and subscribe, and all of that. And rats, no one appears to be particularly streaming right now, but that's okay, because we can just happily call it a day there. So, not a lot left to say, except thank you very much for watching. Join me again next time, and until then, goodbye. Bye.